It's been a while since I've been this excited for a Call of Duty game. I would say probably not since Black Ops 4, but Black Ops 7 so far sounds like it's going to be quite an interesting Call of Duty game. All of the leaks, all of the rumors, all the things we know so far either sound really, really good, or there's those few things that aren't so good. But with the full reveal being very, very soon, I thought this would be a great time to go through and give you guys my full wish list for everything I want in Black Ops 7's multiplayer. I'm literally going to list every single little thing down, from the really big things to the really small things. What do I want this multiplayer experience to actually be like? I'm going to try to be semi-realistic with it, but I'm also going to say things that I don't expect to happen, as long as it's not too unrealistic, obviously. And if you'd like to see this same video for zombies, definitely leave a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Let's get into this. First things first, when it comes to the time to kill, I really want to see a slower time to kill in this game. Something similar to Modern Warfare 3 2023 or Black Ops Cold War would be perfect in my opinion. Both of those games had 150 HP and were definitely on the slower end of time to kills. I would even love to see a Black Ops 4 time to kill, which is the slowest time to kill we've seen in the franchise so far, but I don't expect them to go that far with it, so I would be completely fine with it being just like Black Ops Cold War and Modern Warfare 3 2023. Black Ops 6's time to kill is a little bit faster than those games. It still is on the slower end when you include all of the Call of Duty games, but I just don't necessarily love how it feels. I definitely think it needs to be a little slower. Hopefully Black Ops 7 can be that. There's a few reasons I prefer a slower time to kill, the main reason being that it increases the skill gap, which I think is a good thing. I want players' skill to actually matter in gunfights, and a slower time to kill leads to that. It also leads to gunfights actually existing, because when the time to kill is too fast, you don't really get those gunfight scenarios in each multiplayer match that much. People will just basically delete each other before they can even react, and I don't personally find that to be nearly as fun as a slower time to kill that leads to gunfights actually lasting a while. I love those moments in a Call of Duty match where you're running around, you're shooting people, you're getting behind cover, you're getting into gunfights with other players, and your accuracy actually matters in that gunfight because the gunfight's lasting long enough due to the slower time to kill. All of that is just so much more fun, and especially in how Call of Duties are designed nowadays, I think a slower time to kill will always just work better with them, so I hope to see that with Black Ops 7. It also significantly encourages rushing, and it actually rewards players who rush, and discourages camping, which ultimately I think is a net positive for Call of Duty. But I am very much aware of the fact that there are a lot of people out there who do not like a slower time to kill, and they probably won't enjoy this game if it has a slower time to kill. And I do want those type of players to have something to enjoy in this game. Obviously, hardcore mode exists that has a lightning fast time to kill, but obviously that's probably too fast for some of these people. So I do think what they should do is have a 100 HP playlist that's available throughout the entire year, and that's something that those players can play if they don't want to deal with the 150 HP in the regular modes. I think that's good to have different options for different types of players who just prefer different style of gameplay. I also would love to see health bars come back. I'm not a fan of health bars in zombies. I've always mentioned how much I hate them in zombies, but in multiplayer, I actually think they're pretty good. They've only ever been in Black Ops 4 and Black Ops Cold War. They were in an experimental playlist for Modern Warfare 3 2023, but they decided that they weren't going to go through with it as a core mechanic to the game, and that's totally fine. I don't think they needed health bars, but I like health bars, and I think it definitely would fit the futuristic feel of Black Ops 7 quite well. Before we get into the rest of the video, I'd like to show off these really cool Call of Duty Zombies themed KontrolFreek thumbsticks that will help your accuracy in Call of Duty, but are also just incredibly comfortable and look amazing. And they even come with a Speed Cola and Deadshot Daiquiri perk can, which is so cool. The Speed Cola edition will also give you a digital code for an in-game cosmetic weapon charm in Black Ops 6 Zombies. Use code XpertFusion at the link in the description for 12% off on this and any other KontrolFreek products. Now let's get back to the video. Next up, let's talk about Scorestreaks. Obviously, they need to be Scorestreaks. We cannot go back to a kill streak system. If they do that, I would be very disappointed, but Black Ops 6 had Scorestreaks only, so I'm assuming they're going to do the same thing in Black Ops 7. The most important thing about Scorestreaks for me is that they should be able to loop by default. Now, there was some recent leaks that streak looping will be in this game, but apparently it's going to be a perk. You will need a perk to loop your streaks. And this is definitely better than nothing. If it wasn't in the game at all, that would obviously suck, but it shouldn't be a perk either. This should be a default mechanic. For those of you who don't know what streak looping is, it's simply just the ability to be able to earn your streaks again in the same life. So if you earn all 3 of your streaks in one life, and then you keep staying alive, you can keep earning them again and again throughout that life as long as you stay alive. This is something that's been in almost every Call of Duty from Black Ops 2 to Black Ops 4, and it was a great system, but for some reason, ever since Modern Warfare 2019, a lot of the games haven't had streak looping, including Black Ops 6. There was no streak looping in that game. Modern Warfare 3 2023 did add streak looping later into the life cycle of that game, so it currently does have streak looping, and it's a really great aspect of that multiplayer, and I really wanted to see that return in Black Ops 7 as a default mechanic. Returning as a perk is just kind of silly, because it's not something that happens every game. You don't always loop through your streaks, so who is going to waste a perk slot on something that isn't going to even affect majority of your matches? That's kind of ridiculous. It's just such backwards game design to tell a player that, oh, you can't get more of your streaks even though you're really good and you're staying alive. You just can't get any more unless you let yourself die, so then you can start earning your streaks again. That's just such backwards game design. I understand the reason they're doing it is because they want to prevent streak spam. They don't want people calling in a bunch of streaks nonstop, but I personally just disagree with that sentiment for multiple reasons. First of all, I don't see an issue with somebody who's really good at the game getting streaks. That's what Call of Duty is made for. It's meant to be a mode where you can earn streaks that helps your team out. That's kind of the whole point. But also, even without streak looping, people can still spam streaks. It's very possible to do that. As long as you let yourself die, you can just go through and earn those streaks again. It's really no different than if that person stayed alive, well, except for the fact that they had to let themselves die for it, which is kind of the whole problem here. That's backwards game design. Another thing about Scorestreaks is that they really need to make the streaks really powerful and fun again. I feel like Scorestreaks haven't been that great in a while. Modern Warfare 3 2023 did a pretty good job with it. The swarm in that game was really powerful and really fun, but they need to go much further with Black Ops 7. I want streaks that feel as powerful and as fun as the Black Ops 2 streaks. Those streaks were godly. Black Ops 3 also had a lot of good streaks. Black Ops 4 had a few as well that are really powerful, really fun to use. Infinite Warfare actually surprisingly has a couple of really good streaks that are also really fun. That is what we need to see. Also really unique streaks. I feel like we've been seeing way too many of the exact same streaks over the past 6 years, so hopefully we get a lot of unique ones. Obviously the futuristic setting means we probably will get a lot of unique ones, which is good news. There was a bunch of leaked score streaks for Black Ops 7 a few months ago, including the VTOL warship, a nebula bomb, thermite rain, dog pack, which might be the K9 unit, sniper drone, and even the swarm. So there definitely is a lot of streaks that sound really exciting. I just hope they're really powerful, fun to use, and let's all hope that they bring back looping as a default mechanic. It should not be a perk. Next up, let's talk about Pick 10, because obviously this has been a big conversation in the community for a while now. Everyone wants Pick 10 to return, and recent leaks suggested that Pick 10 is not returning. But I'm going to be a little bit hopeful here, and I'm going to think that maybe they could do some sort of system that isn't exactly Pick 10, but it's close to it, because I don't personally need exactly Pick 10. I don't need that exact system that we had back in Black Ops 2, where you had like 2 attachments by default, and you can expand upon that in really any way you want with the different trade-offs. I love that system, but I can definitely see a Pick 10-like system working with Gunsmith. My idea is Pick 100. This is not the same system as Battlefield at all. Battlefield has a Pick 100 system, but it's specifically about the attachments. That's it. My idea is centered around the entire class itself, where each item in the class has a different point value, and you can choose whatever items you want as long as it's under the 100 points amount. This would mean by default you would still have the exact same class as what you have in Black Ops 6, where you have 2 weapons with 5 attachments for each weapon, you have 3 perks, you have 1 lethal, 1 tactical, you have your dedicated melee weapon, and you have a field upgrade. You have all of that. But if you want to change things, you want to remove things, you want to get more attachments, more perks, more lethals and tacticals, you can do that, but you just have to do it at a trade-off. If you want to get an additional perk, you might have to remove your equipment. If you want 2 additional perks, you might have to remove your equipment and a few attachments from one of your guns. Or maybe you have to remove the secondary entirely. Like, you have to mix and match the class around to make it work with this system. I would absolutely love to see something like this, and I really hope that's actually what's going to end up happening. I saw another idea online that was more so in line with what Pick 10 actually is, but it was a little bit different where it gives you a couple different things for free, so it works with Gunsmith. That could work too, but like I said, the fact that it's already leaked that Pick 10 is not returning, I'm just going to hope that there is some sort of Pick 10-like system that isn't exactly Pick 10, which is why I'm going with this Pick 100 idea that I stand by as being a great idea, and it would definitely make this game 10 times better. The reason I love systems similar to Pick 10 is because it gives you so much more freedom and customization for your class. It really allows you to mix and match items in literally any way you want, which is so nice to see. But of course, there's balances and trade-offs there that make sure the system actually works. So you can't just have a gun with like 8 attachments and 6 perks. So you can't just go full on like that. But if you want 6 perks, you can do that. You just have to do it at a trade-off by taking away other items. And if you want your class to be exactly like it is in Black Ops 6, you can do that as well. You can literally do whatever you want, as long as, of course, it's within the bounds of the Pick 100 system. It also leads to less equipment spam because people are encouraged to actually not run equipment and instead get more perks or more attachments for their weapons. And that's great for everyone because personally, I hate equipment spam in Call of Duty. I think it's quite frustrating. And any game that requires you to have equipment usually leads to that. I mean, personally for me, I don't really like using equipment that much. Usually in games with Pick 10, I remove my equipment. But in games where I'm forced to have my equipment, I will very frequently just toss my grenade in random places. Or if I have concussions, like I'll just toss those randomly. And when most people are doing that same exact thing, you're just nonstop seeing equipment getting thrown around everywhere. And I think it's quite frustrating to have to deal with that, especially on smaller maps. But a Pick 10-like system leads to people not using equipment as much, which, like I said, is really, really nice. I just can't do another year of this really limited gunsmith system. Like I said, the gunsmith stuff itself is fine. I like having 5 attachments by default. That's totally fine with me. I don't mind all the different choices. I know a lot of people don't like that, and that's okay. I just hate the fact that I can't really fully customize my class like you could with Pick 10. Now let's talk about the futuristic setting itself for this game. I really hope they take advantage of it. I do not want to see them not fully embrace the fact that this is a futuristic Call of Duty. The guns should be crazy. They should be wild. They should stay within the realms of reality, at least for launch. I don't really mind if they get a little bit crazy in the DLC, but at launch, definitely, they should be somewhat realistic, but they should still be really, really futuristic. Like, I want to see some Black Ops 3 type guns, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 4. Those guns should be the standard for what these guns look like. And like I said, if they want to start doing like laser guns, like what Advanced Warfare and Infinite Warfare had, I'd be fine with that. But like I said, save that for the DLC. At launch, though, we should have some crazy cool looking futuristic weapons, a lot of crazy attachments that fit the futuristic feel. And when it comes to equipment and gadgets, those definitely need to be very futuristic. There already is a leak that specialist abilities will be returning. For example, we'll be seeing active camo and apparently a grappling hook. So that's great news. That is already sounding like it's going to be really fun. I want to see more crazy stuff like that. That's what's so cool about the futuristic Call of Duty games, is that they really can go creative with the items that we're using in the multiplayer. Next, let's talk about maps. Maps have been a massive conversation in the Call of Duty community for a while now because it's probably one of the most important aspects of the Call of Duty multiplayer experience. And I don't exactly agree with people who say that Call of Duty doesn't make any good maps anymore. A lot of people think they haven't made good maps since like Black Ops 3, and I don't agree with that at all. There's been plenty of great maps. I think Cold War has a lot of great maps. Even Vanguard has a lot of great maps. I don't like that multiplayer as a whole, but the maps are not the problem. Modern Warfare 3 2023 has a lot of great maps, obviously. Black Ops 6 is definitely hit or miss. I think it's the weakest Treyarch map pool we've ever seen, but there are some good maps in there. Skyline, Payback, Barrage, and a few other maps are actually pretty fun, but yes, a lot of the maps also aren't that great. And overall, I just hope the maps in this game are actually good. It is currently rumored that we're going to be seeing 16 maps at launch, 16 6v6 maps specifically. 3 of them will be remasters from Black Ops 2 with Raid, Express, and Hijacked, and the other 13 will be apparently new maps. And I just really hope those new maps are good. My overall philosophy on map design in Call of Duty is I think every map should fit into at least one of these 3 categories. It can fit into multiple of these categories, or it can fit in just one of them. As long as it fits in one of them, then I think it is a map that belongs in that game. The first category is well-designed competitive maps. These are the maps that are usually 3-laned, they're usually symmetrical, and they fit really well for competitive modes. Usually they're used for competitive modes. Raid is a great example of this. That is a very competitive map. I would say say most Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, and Black Ops 4 maps fit in this category. Those games had some fantastic competitive maps. Even Modern Warfare 3 2023 had quite a few really solid competitive maps like Rio. These are maps that don't really have to do anything too flashy with the visuals, or they don't really need any unique mechanics. All they need to be is just well designed, have good spawns, have good flow, and it's solid. Like, of course, I would love for it to be visually beautiful as well, but as long as it has a good layout to it and a good design, then it belongs in the game because it works for competitive. The second category of maps is what I'm calling fun, interesting maps. Now, of course, I consider competitive maps to be fun too, but I mean fun in kind of like a different way, where it's not fun in your normal competitive manner. Rather, it's fun because it's just such a crazy, wacky, weird map. These are the types of maps that have unique mechanics that set them apart from other maps. An example can be Black Ops 2's Express. The train coming right through the middle of the map is a unique mechanic that sets it apart from other maps. Ghosts in Advanced Warfare had a lot of crazy DLC maps that I would say fit in this category as well, because they had a lot of unique elements, unique Scorestreaks that were only available on those maps. Some of them had dynamic events that happened midway through the match. For example, there was a map in Advanced Warfare that had an avalanche come through the map halfway through it. That is an example of a fun, just weird map that isn't really trying to be competitive necessarily, but it definitely still works as a map because it's fun and weird. And also the visuals for these maps usually are pretty great. Like, a lot of those Ghost DLC maps look amazing. They're really cool looking because they were visually very diverse from other maps in the game. But of course, they can also be competitive at the same time while also being really fun, weird, and wacky. Like I said before, these aren't mutually exclusive categories. They can definitely be in more than one category. And the last category of maps are the grind maps. Now, I know what a lot of people are thinking. They're like, no, we don't want that shit. Get that out of here. A lot of people hated that in Black Ops 6. There were so many of these maps in that game. But let me be clear, when I say grind map, it should still be a well-designed grind map. There's a lot of grind maps in Black Ops 6 that are not well-designed. They are really small in a way that doesn't really work because the spawns aren't very good. The mechanics don't really work well with it either. A lot of them are those stupid strike maps that don't have score streaks on them for some reason, so they don't really play like actual Call of Duty maps. That's not what I mean by a fun, like, grind map. A good example of a grind map would be something like Meat from Modern Warfare 3 2023. That is a very small map, but it works really well with the mechanics of that game. It flows really well. It has good spawns. That is a good example of a grind map. Nuketown would be in that category. Rust, like, these are all small maps that are still really good. Stash House from MW3 as well. Like, these are all maps that are small and are good for grinding. And I do think the game should have some of these maps. I don't think it should be all of the maps. That's the problem with Black Ops 6. There's maybe too many of these types of maps. And again, like I said, they don't flow that well. But the game should still have at least like 10 of these in the total game after all the DLC. Obviously not 10 at launch. You know, at launch, it should maybe have like 4 of these maps. But after the DLC season, there should probably be like 10 of these maps in total. But overall, every map should fit into at least one of these 3 categories. For example, let's take a map like Extraction from Black Ops 6. This was one of the DLC maps in that game. And in my opinion, I don't think this map fits in any of these 3 categories. It is definitely not a competitive map at all. Does not have a good enough layout for that whatsoever. It was clearly not built for competitive. It's not a very fun map. Like, there's not many interesting things about it. There's no unique mechanics. There's no dynamic elements to it. So there's nothing that sets it apart. And it's definitely not a grind map either because it's, you know, medium sized. So I don't see the point of this map whatsoever. It's a waste of a map in this game. And it just sits there as another experience to play that usually I don't have fun on. Those type of maps we just should not be getting in Black Ops 7 whatsoever. And I would definitely like to see a good mix of all 3 of these categories. I especially want to see some more dynamic maps like what we had in Ghosts and AW. It'd be really cool to bring stuff like that back where you have like different disasters that happen midway through the match. I would love to see that, but they haven't done that in a long time. But even something as small as the carousel on the map Drive-Thru from Modern Warfare 3 2023 was a really cool, unique feature. So stuff like that really sets maps apart and makes them more fun. I also really hope the maps are very colorful and just overall visually interesting. There was a recent leak from the Ghost of Hope where he said the maps are going to be more colorful than Black Ops 6, which is definitely good news, but I hope it goes as far as like Black Ops 4 level of color, where it's just like really bright and borderline cartoony with how colorful it is. I know some people absolutely hate that, but we're in a futuristic game here. It should be very colorful. I feel like that just fits the vibe of it better. For people who don't like that, Modern Warfare 4 comes out the next year. You guys can play that. Like, you could wait a year for that, trust me. And when it comes to small maps in this game, as I mentioned before, I don't want to see any strike maps in this game. I don't want to see any of those maps that don't have score streaks in them and get shoved in the small map playlist. I don't want any of that. If they do bring back gunfight, I think gunfight should just be played on these smaller maps in the game, but they should not be designed specifically for gunfight. They should just be maps that were already made for 6v6 and are now turned into gunfight maps. Or maybe they can take like medium to large sized 6v6 maps and cut them down to make them work for gunfight. That would be fine as well. I don't really want to see their development time wasted on making gunfight maps that are only going to be used in gunfight, especially because you see all these really cool locations being used for gunfight maps in Black Ops 6, and it sucks that these maps are just not going to be in 6v6 like regular 6v6 because they're specifically made for gunfight, so the only 6v6 version available for them is this version that doesn't have score streaks. So like I said, it's just not as interesting. I would rather they focus on regular 6v6 maps. And when it comes to remasters, obviously it's leaked that the Black Ops 2 maps are basically all going to be remastered for this game. It sounds like we're only going to get 3 of those at launch though, so I guess the rest of them are going to be throughout the DLC season. And there was 14 launch maps in Black Ops 2, so that means we still have 11 maps left from Black Ops 2 that they're probably going to remaster throughout the DLC season. I'm going to be completely honest, a couple of those I don't really care to see. I don't care to see Aftermath remastered. I don't really care to see Drone remastered. If they do, maybe they could touch them up a bit and make them work better for this game, but I don't think we need DLC updates with those maps. But if they do it, that's fine. I just kind of hope they keep it to the good Black Ops 2 maps, which is the majority of them, because let's be real, most of them are good, but a couple of those ones that aren't that great, they can leave in the past. I don't really care. But I do want to see some remasters from Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4 as well. Specifically, I really want to see Seaside and Contraband from Black Ops 4 return, because in my opinion, those are 2 of some of the best maps ever. Like, I'm talking top 10 of all time, and we have not seen them since Black Ops 4, so it would be nice to see them in Black Ops 7. But I do want to see mostly new maps in this game. I don't want to see a bunch of remasters. I think in total there should definitely be more new maps than old maps, but a few remasters here and there is totally fine. I think throughout the DLC season they should probably do 4 to 5 6v6 maps per season. 2 of them should be remasters, and then the other 3 should be new maps, or let's say like 2 and 2 is fine as well. I'd be okay with that. Now let's talk about Exo Suits. So obviously we are not going to be getting Exo Suits, advanced movement, boost jumping in Black Ops 7 multiplayer. They've already confirmed that. There apparently is going to be some sort of wall jump mechanic, but that's nothing like boost jumping. That's not Exo Suits whatsoever. But I really do hope they implement them into the game in some way, shape, or form, whether it's through a score streak that lets you use one once you earn it, and then maybe it goes away when you die, or maybe even just like a specialist ability that lets you use it for like 10 to 15 seconds and you could just boost around for a little bit. That'd be pretty cool. Or maybe they can do a separate boost jumping playlist that they can have available for a majority of the year for players who want that. I would love to see that, because I really want to see jetpacks return to Call of Duty multiplayer. It's been way too long since we've had it. It's been since Infinite Warfare, and I don't expect to see a new Call of Duty game that has jetpacks by default. I just don't expect to see that probably ever again, but I would love to see it as a separate playlist. I'm sure they'll end up doing it as like an LTM down the line for some special update, but I think it genuinely should be something that's just permanently part of the game, something that you could just always go back to and play whenever you want. This is something that's already been leaked, but I definitely don't want to see Tac Sprint in this game, and thankfully the leaks are saying that it probably actually will be true, that we won't be seeing Tac Sprint, which is insane. I did not expect this to actually happen. A few weeks ago, I would consider this to be an unrealistic ask, but it sounds like it might actually be happening, which, like I said, is fantastic. Tac Sprint is an unnecessary mechanic. That is the double sprint feature that they've had since Modern Warfare 2019, and thankfully this game probably won't have it if the leaks are true. Something I really want to see return to this game that we haven't had since Vanguard is operator progression. Vanguard had this full system where as you play with specific operators, you would level them up and unlock different cosmetics and other items, and each operator also had their own signature weapon that if you were using that specific weapon with that operator, you would get bonus XP for that specific weapon. That was a really cool feature, and I have absolutely no idea why this never returned. I don't get it whatsoever. It seems like such a no-brainer idea because it encourages people to actually use different operators. I kid you not when I say I've been using the exact same operators the entire time I've been playing Black Ops 6. I've been using Klaus and Brutus, and sometimes I switch between like one other operator. I think I literally just use those operators because I don't really feel the need to use any other ones. There's really not that many in the game that I think are that cool looking, and I haven't purchased any bundles in this game, so I also don't really feel encouraged to do that either, because there's no like cool progression paths for any different operators in this game. But that was something that was in Vanguard that was really cool, and I would love for them to do a full-on operator progression system where you can do different challenges with specific operators and get different cosmetics for it. They kind of had that in Black Ops Cold War. Obviously, back when specialist characters were a thing, in like Black Ops 3, they had the gold armor that you can get on all the different specialist characters. That was a really cool system. I definitely want to see stuff like that return to encourage players to actually use different characters. When it comes to the camo grind in this game, I really hope it's more similar to the Modern Warfare 3 2023 system, where you don't have to get a bunch of headshots before starting the actual challenges themselves. Obviously, headshots being a challenge is fine, but I really don't want to have to get like 100 headshots per gun. That just is not a fun system in my opinion. Obviously, that's what the classic games did. They always used to be like that, where you had to get a bunch of headshots and then you move into the challenges. I get that. I never liked that system though. I didn't really enjoy camo grinding in a lot of Call of Duty games. Modern Warfare 3 2023 was one of the first camo grinds I actually really enjoyed doing. Like, I had a blast doing it. Some of the most fun I've had in a Call of Duty game in a while. And usually I don't think camo grinding is that fun. Like I said, it's usually not that enjoyable, but it really was fun in that game. So I think they need to do something like that again, but they need to do challenges that are fun to do, get you out of your comfort zone in a way, but don't annoy you. They don't make you do stuff like sitting in the back of the map and waiting for long shots or mounting your gun somewhere. Like, don't do any of that, of course, but it should still be like fun, interesting things that get you to play in a bit of a different way, just a little bit, nothing crazy yet. Like I said, nothing that makes you sit in the back of the map. Something I definitely don't expect to happen, but I really, really want it to happen, is the ability to earn COD points in-game, or at least some sort of separate in-game currency that allows for earning cosmetics for free. I really hate the fact that we have all these really cool skins, cool blueprints within the bundles in the shop, and pretty much 99% of them you cannot get for free. There is zero way to do that. You have to pay for them, and it's a pretty expensive amount as well. It's like $24, sometimes up to $30 just for a bundle, and that's ridiculous. I would love for there to be a way to grind for some of these, and when I say grind, I mean really, really grind. Like, I'm talking, it'll take you a lot of playtime, like 50 hours just to get like one bundle or something. Because to me, that would be better than nothing. I think they should be rewarding players who play that much. People who play so much to the point where they are die-hard loyal fans, they deserve a free bundle every now and then. So the idea that I have would be to simply just have some weekly and daily contracts that are basically just like in-game challenges, and they reward you with this specific in-game currency. And it's a very small amount of that currency, but you can only do it for those weekly and daily challenges. So every week you can just come back and just do all the different challenges and then just keep trying to get as many of this currency as possible. And the currency will let you use it on any bundle in the store. But like I said, you need a lot. So it'll take you a long time to grind these challenges before you can get a bundle. But like I said, that's better than nothing. And it's a way that Activision wouldn't really be losing any money, because it's not like a bunch of players are going to be playing enough to the point where they're going to be able to get that many bundles for free anyways. But if you can get at least like one free bundle from playing for like over a month of just grinding, to me that's better than nothing. And I think that would go a long way to help people not feel as negative about the current microtransaction system in this game, because at least people would feel good about the fact that they can grind the game and get enough of this in-game currency to just get something for free, even if it's just one bundle. I mean, sometimes I only need one bundle. That's all I really care about. So it would be so nice to get one for free. And hell, maybe if they did something like this, I'd be encouraged to actually buy some bundles, because I'd feel to myself that the game is a little bit more fair. Therefore, it's worth my money to pay for a bundle. Like, I genuinely would feel that way. So this system would be nice, even though it's unlikely. It would be really nice. This is something I really do miss about games like World War II, Black Ops 4, and Modern Warfare Remastered, because they had plenty of ways to earn cosmetics for free in those games. Of course, those games also had supply drops, but that was the reason why there were so many free things to earn. World War II had this whole collection system where you can literally get whatever item you want for free with this in-game currency that you get from daily contracts and weekly contracts. It was a great system, and it was a lot of fun to grind it. We also need better events and rewards, and when I say better, I mean more interesting, like something that actually makes you do something unique, not just play the game to earn XP and eventually you get some like stickers and double XP tokens. Those types of events are very boring. I want to see some actual interesting, engaging events with cool challenges. Stuff like the gunfight tournaments that they used to do back in the day were pretty fun, but you can do that for like search and destroy tournaments or something. I think that would be really interesting. And the rewards should actually be good. Stuff like animated camos, operator skins that are actually cool looking, blueprints, that sort of stuff. It should not just be regular items from the game like the new gun coming out soon. That's not what it should be. That should be an item that gets thrown in the armory as soon as possible, or the battle pass. That should not be an event reward. I'm kind of tired of seeing just regular items for the game in the events. And when it comes to events, I think they need to do a lot more exciting things with them in terms of the limited time modes that they add. And I honestly would like a lot of these modes to just be permanent as well. I don't think they should all be limited time, but I think they need to go a bit further with it by even making the seasonal content from that season connecting to these events. So for example, if they do a collaboration with, let's say, The Walking Dead, I would love to see a Walking Dead event in this game. By the way, we saw one in Modern Warfare 3 2023. I would love to see one in Black Ops 7 as well. But let's say they decided to do a Walking Dead collaboration for one of the seasons. Instead of just doing a bundle and then maybe a little event, they should also do a map that is themed around that event. Now, they tried to do stuff like that in Black Ops 6, like for example with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles event. They did have grind kind of like themed around the mutant turtles, and that was a little cool, but they didn't really go far enough with it. I mean, it was just like graffiti on the wall and stuff, so I wasn't like wowed by it or anything, but it was definitely better than nothing. But going back to that Walking Dead example, ideally they should do a really cool map like the prison from season 3 as a 6v6 experience. And then they'd probably also do some sort of horde point mode to go along with it to have all the zombies on that map as well. And you could do a whole event based around that map itself, like maybe a 24/7 playlist on that map with horde points, and you have to get a certain amount of zombie kills to get like different camos and rewards. That's a type of event that would actually be really exciting and would get a lot of people to play it. They also desperately need to encourage people to actually win games more often. I feel like I'm usually not encouraged to win matches in Call of Duty enough. And honestly, if they were to do that in-game currency idea, this would be a great way to encourage people to win games and stick through the game even if they want to quit, because they could get bonuses for either sticking through and winning the match, and that can give them some of the in-game currency. I think that would be really cool, and like I said, would encourage people to not rage quit. Something that doesn't matter to a lot of people, but it matters to me, is the UI. This is the user interface, the menus. I really do care about these because you do spend a lot of time in them, whether you're looking through your class or you're trying to load up a match. It's something that's important, and I really do think the UI needs a full rework, and we've been saying this for years now, and it's gotten a little bit better. It was really, really bad in Modern Warfare 2 2022, got a little bit better in the next year, a little bit better in Black Ops 6, but hopefully Black Ops 7 goes even further, where the UI just feels more like the classic games. Why can't we just go back to what it looked like back in Black Ops 2 or Black Ops 3? That was a much better UI, and I really, really think they need to return to something like that, because honestly, since World War II, I feel like they haven't had the best UIs in a lot of their games. I also hope the HUD is a bit better. That is the heads-up display, which is basically the UI when you're actually playing the game itself. I don't think it looks bad in Black Ops 6 necessarily, but a lot of the elements just don't work for me. Like, I really hate the font for the score feed. It looks really generic, and I'm hopeful that this next game will go back to a better-looking font and a better looking HUD in general, similar to something like Black Ops 2 or Black Ops 3. HUD customization is great in BO6, don't get me wrong, but the customization doesn't necessarily allow you to fix stuff like just having really boring looking font. Something that probably doesn't matter to most people, but really does matter to me, is the private matches / custom matches. Can they please fix these and actually make them good? Because they have been horrible since like Black Ops 4. For some reason, they do not want us playing private matches. You can clearly tell. The fact that they didn't even give us private matches for grief mode in Black Ops 6 Zombies tells you that they really do not want people playing their own matches with their friends. They want people in online lobbies. And that's also very evident by how lackluster custom games has been for so long. There's barely any customization for your own private multiplayer match, and it's really annoying because I used to love doing custom lobbies with friends where we would have these preset classes that I would specifically make myself, and we would all have to use them. We would do these really interesting fun challenges. Like, there were so many cool things you can do. We used to play this game called House Wars that was on Nuketown in Black Ops 3, and we had these very specific, like, really bad classes that we had to use for it, and it was basically like Rainbow Six Siege, where one person defended a house and the other team attacked it. Some of the most fun I've had playing Call of Duty ever, and you just can't do that anymore because they don't don't let you customize the preset classes anymore, so you can't do modes like that. And it's such a shame. I really want them to go back and actually fix these so I can actually go back and have fun with my friends in private matches. This next thing is pretty obvious, but I really hope the game has less lag and less bugs because Black Ops 6 was awful in this regard. Some of the worst server issues I have ever experienced with a Call of Duty game. And I'm not sure if this is due to COD HQ or other issues, but it was rough, especially at launch. I've never seen it be this bad before, and I really don't want to go through with that again in Black Ops 7. I would love to be able to actually load in and just have fun, but this was a problem for months in Black Ops 6. Thankfully, it's not as bad today. I still notice it every now and then, but it was really bad in Black Ops 6, especially in zombies, which is crazy, the fact that zombies had problems, even if you were playing by yourself, but there was so much server lag and other various optimization issues that really plagued Black Ops 6 for a long time. Next up, let's talk about carry forward. Carry forward has also been a big conversation in the COD community for the past couple months because everyone's wondering, are we going to get carry forward for Black Ops 6 content into Black Ops 7? Because obviously that's what they did with Modern Warfare 2 2022 into Modern Warfare 3 2023. And personally, I don't want to see too much carry forward. There's some stuff that I think should carry forward, but other things that I think should not. First of all, when it comes to cosmetics like operator skins, I think they need to be very specific about which ones they carry forward, because I personally don't want to see stuff like the Beavis and Butthead skins in Black Ops 7 on day one. If they decide to bring that stuff over in maybe into like season 1 or something, it would be a little bit better, but I still think a lot of those skins should just stay in Black Ops 6. And I honestly don't want to see the Black Ops 6 guns into Black Ops 7. That worked with the Modern Warfare 2 guns into Modern Warfare 3 because the Modern Warfare 2 guns were really cool and really fun, and they perfectly fit with Modern Warfare 3 because they were all modern guns. It just made sense, right? But Black Ops 7 is a futuristic title that takes place over 40 years after Black Ops 6. So I don't really want to see all of the Black Ops 6 guns, these 90s era weapons, just shoved in to Black Ops 7. Now there are some guns that I wouldn't mind seeing, like some of the classic guns like the PPSH, and I believe it's rumored the MP40 is going to be coming with season 6, so maybe they can carry forward that, or maybe even some of the Modern Warfare era guns because those are closer to the futuristic era, like for example the Kilo and the AMAX. I wouldn't really mind seeing those carry forward as much as well, but I would also be completely fine with zero carry forward when it comes to the weapons because I do want a fresh slate of guns. I think that would be nice to see. But the one thing that I think definitely needs to carry forward into Black Ops 7 multiplayer are a few of the Black Ops 6 maps, specifically the remasters that are in Black Ops 6 from other Call of Duty games. For example, Firing Range, Fringe, Hacienda, Grind, and WMD. Those maps I think should just carry forward right into Black Ops 7. Honestly, at launch, like maybe within the first week, same thing they did with Modern Warfare 3 2023, they brought over a few of the Modern Warfare 2 2022 maps like a week after that game came out. And I don't care to see any of the other Black Ops 6 maps, like any of the new maps. I don't really think any of those should be in Black Ops 7, but I think those maps that were remastered from other Call of Duty games would make sense to just carry forward into Black Ops 7, because why the hell not? Now, of course, there's one more huge thing that I did not talk about in this video so far, and it's because I don't expect this thing to change whatsoever, so I do kind of consider this an unrealistic ask, but I really hope to see a change here because I am tired of this, and that is, of course, skill-based matchmaking. Now, I don't expect skill-based matchmaking to disappear completely. That wouldn't really make any sense because technically there's been some version of skill-based matchmaking in almost every single Call of Duty multiplayer at this point, but the problem with the current matchmaking system is just how strict it is. You really feel like your matches are being manipulated, and it feels like if you do good too many games in a row, suddenly your next few games after that are some of the worst experiences you will ever have in Call of Duty. And I'm tired of it. I don't like that. It makes it so the experience of playing a new COD is not very fun until the year after, when the game isn't in its current life cycle anymore, because the player base shrinks, and when the player base shrinks, skill-based matchmaking doesn't become as effective. For example, going back to Modern Warfare 3 2023 during Black Ops 6's life cycle has been so much more fun than playing it during its own life cycle because skill-based matchmaking isn't as big of a problem. This happens for all of the Call of Duties, and I feel like it's going to keep happening, and I think they really need to do something to stop it. And I definitely don't think throwing bots in multiplayer should be their way of stopping it whatsoever. I think they just need to find ways to make people enjoy Call of Duty even when they're not performing well. I think that's the overall biggest issue. The reason skill-based matchmaking exists in the first place is because they are very much aware of the fact that people only really have fun in COD when they're doing good. That's not the same for other games. I mean, I can go play Battlefield and I could be getting shit on, but I'll still have a decent time. Like, that happens all the time. But Call of Duty isn't really like that. I feel like you have to be performing well to have fun, and it shouldn't be like that. They need to do other things in the game to really make it work, so even if you're getting shit on, you still really are having a good time. I don't have all the answers there, I really don't, but I just think they need to find that solution instead of just throwing skill-based matchmaking in our faces. And I definitely want disbanding lobbies to stop being a thing as well, because I really like sticking with a lobby that is really, really fun. If you get into a fun rivalry with the other team, it's nice to continue that rivalry game after game, but you can't do that with disbanding lobbies. So I really hope that goes away as well. Overall, that is everything I want to see in Black Ops 7 multiplayer, my full wish list. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Add some of your own ideas of what you want to see in Black Ops 7 multiplayer, or do you disagree with me in this video whatsoever? I would love to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I will see you all in my next one. Peace out.